All right, so today we took a loss. Um, we are in a weird spot in the market, really. I kind of just, I don't mind the loss, really. I'm sticking to the one trade a day, and we just took a loss. A little bit bigger than I would have liked. So the account is gone now that we've been working on. But if anyone's been watching the videos, you know that the last 2 Mondays I had just bad days. And I only have a few days left on the funded, so I was just trading one full contract. I think going into tomorrow, I'm going to just start trading 5 micros again, one trade a day. But we'll see. I'll do a little bit of thinking and figure out what I want to do. If I want to trade one full contract or 5 micros and just take one trade a day. But regardless, the plan stays the same. I'm going to just do one trade a day. But yeah, it's just kind of frustrating or to lose because the way funded accounts are designed are kind of just designed to make you feel bad because you can only have a $2,000 loss. So if you trade one full contract and you take a $500 loss, it's a big chunk, right? So it doesn't feel that rewarding, which is why I might go to 5 micros because I know if I can pass a funded on 5 micros, then I'll have a lot of confidence that I'm actually getting better. Because I was doing a lot better on my last funded. I had it up almost $2,000, just shy of 2,000, only trading 5 micros. But I was just, winning a lot of days. But I wasn't holding my trades good. I wasn't executing the right way. I was taking too many trades. So I want to keep doing one trade. So I think I'm just going to do one full contract, and just one trade a day still, no matter what. And then, yeah, maybe take 5 micros until we get up a little bit of a buffer on the account before just taking one trade and just being in drawdown. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because if I'm taking one trade a day, win, lose, it's all the same if I hold the trade the same way I would with 5 micros. So I'll probably just do one full contract on the eval, and just trade, again, one trade per day, and just keep working on that. And the plan doesn't change even though we lost this account and took a losing day today. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change what I've been working on. It doesn't change, what I know, what I don't know. It really doesn't. It shouldn't affect me, but honestly, it does. It does mentally get to you when you lose, which is where I'm just having to get better. So today I'm pretty happy with how I'm able to not handle it. I mean, nothing crazy happened, but I just took a loss, and it just is unfortunate. And it's just, part of it. You lose, and I think I just lost a little more than I would have wanted to, even though it was on a full contract. I lost 600, so I lost like 30 points, which is just kind of steep. And I'll go over why I lost that much and how I could have lost less. But again, it's just part of it. I took one trade and it lost, right? The trade yesterday, if I would have held properly, would have made me 700. So yeah, I would have washed out the profits from yesterday, but I would still technically be up. And I have a decently high win rate. So because I have a high win rate, the losses are kind of accounted for. So maybe I shouldn't have taken it because of the risk. I'll keep up with all of that, but yeah, it is what it is. For the one trade a day, we're what's it called? We're 2 for 1 or 2 for 3. So we've won 66.6% of our trades. Because 3 days we had 2 winners and 1 loss. It's just the loss was bigger than my winners, which is just because I got out of the other trade early yesterday, but it's also partly because I had too big of a stop loss. So going into today, wow, and holy sell-off, which is really good because that's a 400-point sell-off. We need to rebalance this market. We need to come down lower because we are way too overextended. So I'm happy to see it, but that's also part of why I got wrecked today, right? Part of the reason I got wrecked is because I was just caught on the wrong side of the market. And again, It's why I'm not really upset with the loss. It's why I don't lose any conviction. It's just annoying to lose. Like, no one likes to lose, but I was taking a long today, and the long didn't play out. And the reason why I would take the long is for a few reasons. We had a 4-hour fair value gap with equal lows. So we had these equal lows here, which was a 4-hour fair value gap. Right here, we had the 4-hour imbalance. We've just been super bullish. Like, we've been getting like no retracements, sweeping lows and then ripping, no retracement, rip, pullback, rip. So I was just seeing this, and I didn't really worry about the fact that we were super overextended and that we hadn't come to equilibrium at all yet of any move, which is now kind of where we're headed, is equilibrium of this expansion, which we hit. So we've rebalanced a little bit, but we also have the potential to start looking for equilibrium of this whole range, which would be these lows. So yeah, I mean, maybe we're gonna get bearish structure, but that was my bias, was just looking for that low to get swept on the 4-hour. Just looking for the 4-hour to get swept and then go from there. So again, I was looking for the 4-hour to get swept. We sweep it here, not the 4-hour, the 4-hour imbalance to get tapped. So we tap into it, we sweep out those equal lows right here, and we create an SMT at the low. We had no setup here to go long. We take in this internal high, and then we sell off. Then we manipulate this low again. We have another SMT with ES, and then we have this inverse fair value gap right here, which I liked, obviously. And yeah, we had double SMT. We had one here, and we had one between this low and this low. So I was like, okay, cool. If this fair value gap breaks, I'll get long, and I'll target these equal highs here. So this was a pretty nice draw in liquidity, I thought. Equal highs. I like the draw in liquidity. This is where I would have gone break even. And again, today we lost. We have a high win rate. If this trade played out, it would have been a 52-point winner. So it would have been over $1,000 trade, which, again, I ended up losing 600, but in perspective to the trade, it was a over 1-to-1 RR. So originally I get in the trade, and I jump in here, obviously targeting here, and my stop just kind of was in the middle of this area here, because I was waiting for a close back below this fair value gap. Looking back, there were some things I could change, but since I'm doing one trade per day, I'm not going to change the fact that I'm doing one trade per day, because I want to keep doing one trade per day, because I think it will help me in the long run. Eventually, obviously, when I have my discipline down, I have my risk management down, all those factors down, I can take more than one trade per day. But right now, I just have to build that ability to take one trade. So, yeah, so anyways, coming into this trade, I noticed, or when we closed here, first of all, this close is not ideal, because we close about 13 points above the inverse, which basically adds 13 extra points to our stop loss that we didn't need to have, which adds up. Also, zooming out, yes, we swept this low. Yes, we reswept with SMT, but it's not a super, super high probable long. So maybe if I was trading on my own live account, I wouldn't be looking to just take a long there. I think that's a little bit hindsight, to be honest. Yes, we did sell off, but yeah, so we did sell off anyways, and my lights just flickered, but it's a little bit hindsight for me. I still like the setup, right? This is the whole point of one trade a day. You take a setup that you really like, you wait for it, and then win or lose. I was more than happy to lose on the trade. Again, it's really just frustrating with how much I lost, because the risk wasn't. Why did the thing go away? Yeah, that was weird. Why did that trade tool go away? Did this thing just break? I must have no internet. hopefully this recording still works. Yeah, that's weird that I can't. Okay, let me restart that. Gosh, that's annoying. But yeah, so I mean, can't see your signal. Okay, so it's a Wi-Fi thing. I'll go on my hotspot. Make sure there's nothing on here that I can't show you guys. We should be good. I don't think there's any info. If there is info that I can't show, don't be weird. Don't be weird, right? I don't think there's anything like that leaked anything, but come on, guys. We have like 700 subscribers. Let's not be weird. But yeah, so this was ES at the time before I switch over. We were around here, and this was where the SMT was, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, so we had we had the trade here. So again, this is my break-even point. If I was with multiple contracts, I would scale some there for sure, but I was happy to go break-even and let the rest play out. But we also were in this 3-minute fair value gap here that we actually ended up rejecting. And I'll go over why I don't really care about that fair value gap. We didn't have anything else. The reason I just don't really care about that is, one, it's a 3-minute. 3 minutes, they're not really my favorite thing anyways, but regardless, if we're bullish, right, we don't reject this, because if this fair value gap's not here, let's just say the fair value gap's not here, we could count this as an order block, right? We could count this green candle as an order block to send price lower. So regardless of the fair value gap being there or not, price still could have gone lower, right? And the only reason it respects anything in the market is not because there's a fair value gap there. Just because there's a bullish or bearish fair value gap does not mean it's going to go in that direction, right? It's all context. So just because we had that there, yes, if we end up running that, I would have a lot more conviction, and that would be even more confluence. But because it's there doesn't mean I can't take a trade, because we got a setup. We got a setup down here, a singular fair value gap. And the only reason we reject and went lower because of that fair value gap is because our bias was wrong, right? All I can do in trading is just pick a direction, right? I swept the lows. We're in a 4-hour fair value gap. We have SMTs. Some of the bullish bias, I was thinking we'd probably come up because we had been selling. The trade idea is fine, right? Maybe looking back, I could have waited to enter after a close, but you might get a close here, right? And the setup was valid. My point being is sometimes it just loses, right? And I'm in Dodgy's. I don't pay for his Discord, so I can't watch him live trade or anything, but I'm just part of the free Discord. And this man got out for break even, and I don't know how he gets out for break even, because we were only up like 2-3 points from the entry. So somehow he got break even on this green candle here and then got stopped out. But again, since I'm only trading one trade per day, I am very happy to not have moved my stop to break even there, because to me that's just crazy. I don't care. I mean, obviously Dodger just has a lot of experience and is very good at trading, but I don't understand how he gets out of break even on almost all the losers, but then when a trade runs, he's always there for the trade that runs, and he always gets the full take profit. Because I just don't see a reason why you get out for break even here, because we just made this fair value gap, and then we held it and started moving, and we stalled for like half a second. I don't know, but where I could have gone better with this trade is, right? We could have noticed this fair value gap here, this bullish fair value gap. We end up inversing it, but we were holding this 1 minute order block, and we were also in the inverse, and we got a decent reaction out of it. So in my head, I was like, okay, we did inverse this, but I don't want to jump out early, and I'm only taking one trade, so I want to hold until I get really invalidated. And then we get this close here. And again, this is probably where I should have got out, because we do close. You really have to zoom in though. We pretty much close at the tick, but I could have closed there and saved myself a $200, which adds up over time. It really just does. But it ended up taking my just safety net stop loss, which is why it's there, right? Because if I didn't have a stop loss, then I get filled down here, and on a different day, it just is bad. So I could have closed there. I just hoped for the best, right? I kind of just YOLO'd it because it is like the last day on my account here. So I kind of just let it play out. But yeah, we lost too much there, I think. I think we lost way too much because we ended up losing about 30 points, which is just a really big stop loss. We lost more than 30, actually. Hold up. We lost like here. Because 35 was like here. Yeah, that looks about right. Yes, I mean, we lost. Like, that's just kind of a big stop loss. Ways I could have avoided this trade. Maybe had more caution for the 3-minute. Maybe just let the trade go without me because of how big this close was. But I like the setup. I still like the setup. It's just a loss, right? Clearly, we had the wrong bias. Clearly, we sold off, right? This trade here isn't terrible, even though I just wouldn't take it, right? This worked because we were super bearish, and we hit a 35 point to that low, and then also 112 points to the bottom low, right? Oh, I gotta move it over. So we hit this low here, which is just a older low from the left. All I would say about this trade is, or an example is just if my bias is correct with inverses, look how beautiful this plays out. You close below, you don't even retest this area, and yeah, you chop here, but if you have your stop loss and you hold it and you stick to your rules, if you got in here and you got out there, that's 34 points. So even if you got lucky, that's 34 points. You just made $700, right? So don't lose conviction after loss. I don't need to lose conviction after loss just because I've had a few bad days, right? Because if I took this trade because I had a different bias, and it's not even a good trade, so I wouldn't even be happy with taking this. But what do we have here? We have a sweep of the high, which could be manipulation. We have an invalidation of a fair value gap. We haven't hit the internal low. We have a low here, the target, that we haven't even taken. So if we want to go higher, we might manipulate. And then we're also just displacing lower and melting down. So sometimes the momentum, we had these lows, the target. We just had a lot of confluence to end up going lower, right? But the reason why I wouldn't take this trade is because we don't get anywhere near equilibrium of this sell-off, right? I would like to see this setup happen here, and then it'd be a great trade. This is just a percentage-based trade, right? This is just a trade that probably works, right? It's not a trade that you want to, bet the house on because it doesn't have to work, right? There's always going to be a difference between trades that have to work, or don't have to work, but trades that you have to take because they're so good you have to take them, and trades that are like, this will probably be okay, right? Like, this is a trade you could take on paper, on a funded challenge if you're already funded, but it's not a trade that you really need to be partaking in if you're doing one trade a day like I'm doing. So that's all today. There's nothing else I would touch the rest of the day here because we just dumped 455 points. So I don't really think longs look very enticing because we are so weak, but I also just don't think at this point there's any reason to ever short because on the higher time frame, where we're chilling at right now is just, we're just building structure. We're just starting to build structure. When we were in this model here on the 1 hour, this market maker model was so beautiful. And I hope we can get back to that, right? I think maybe we put in a high here and we're starting to sell off, and maybe we'll get another market maker model like this. And those are a lot easier and more probability to trade. So I'm really excited to see if we get some better price action soon. But yeah, so overall, a good day. We take a loss, but it is what it is, right? There's not nothing we can do about it. I can definitely learn from some of the mistakes I made and maybe how not to take that trade. But we just come back tomorrow and we take our one trade per day and we just keep going, right? I can't rush the process. I can't worry about getting funded. I just got to show up, take one trade, execute, show up the next day, and eventually we'll make progress. And eventually I don't have to limit myself to one trade. But yeah, so I mean, it's always disappointing to lose because my account was at $1,000 positive, and if I had a winner there and made 1,000, it'd be up 2,000, and then I would keep the account. And then I'd only need to, win once or twice or maybe 3 times at worst, and I would be able to pass the account. But the way it works is I just didn't pass this current account, and I'm starting a new one. So it is frustrating. But if we get down and we start worrying about things that are outside my control, then I really won't get there any sooner. So I just have to keep going with the process, one trade a day. And just if we show up tomorrow and we lose, it's all right. Even though we start a new account, again, that's kind of like, honestly, like in my head, I'm kind of afraid to start a new account and start on a loss because that sucks. Who wants to start on a loss? No one wants to start on a losing day. Especially after we did so well in the last account. It's just hard to mentally come back and just be like, okay, yeah, let's follow our rules, let's do good, let's hold our trade, because it's just the confidence has a little bit of a hit, but we'll be fine. And I might start even live streaming all the trades since it's a perfect time. We're starting a new funded. So let me know in the comments if any of y'all would even be curious about watching me live trade, for me going live on YouTube here, and kind of just calling out what I see, why I see it, and the trade I'll take. And I kind of want to do that because I want to capture passing my first funded and show every trade I take, all the rules I'm following, and just have it just documented here. So, and I've been thinking about trading live on YouTube. I got to figure out how to even do that, but let me know if you all think that's something that would be even let me know if anyone's curious to watch me live trade, because again, I don't claim to be a master, but I do think I've learned a lot, and I do find good trades every once in a while, and I think it'd be cool to just document passing one of the funded accounts. So I'll probably be live trading either tomorrow or Monday. It really just depends. But yeah, let me know who all is going to be able, or who all wants to show up, and who all is excited for that, if you are or not. And if anyone has any tips of how to live stream well, I have to learn all that. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I got going on to go over? Yeah, I mean, honestly, just nothing else really for me to say. I hope you guys have a good day. It is frustrating to lose, but again, we show up tomorrow and we just keep going, right? The only hard part is just because I have no results yet. I have no I have no payouts. I haven't passed my funded, so it's hard to lose because I just need to pass an account and then get a payout, because then it's like, okay, it feels like I'm getting somewhere. Right now, it feels like I'm just in the same spot, but I'm just a few good days away from, being where I want to be. So, yeah, but that's all I have for you guys. I hope you guys had a good day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, maybe on live stream. So look out for that.